Well, for more on the situation in Gaza, we can speak to Ahmed Bayram, the media advisor for the Norwegian Refugee Council in the Middle East, who joins us now by Skype. Thank you so much for speaking to us today here on France 24. Over 1 million people have been ordered to evacuate northern Gaza, something aid organizations say is simply not possible, though we have seen some civilians who are able to flee. What's your organization's stance on these evacuations and your sense of how many civilians might be in danger in northern Gaza?
Good evening, and thanks for having me. First of all, we have a problem with the labeling of this. What is happening is not an evacuation. Let's be clear. It is a forcible transfer of half of the population in a strip surrounded from air, land, and the sea. This is such a step means there is a war crime being committed here. You can't ask people to flee when they don't have fuel, when they don't have enough vehicles to transfer them. You can't bomb the very highway that you are asking them to go through. This has happened today and also yesterday. We have seen images and also reports of convoys of people trying to flee the north, being bombed on their way. Our teams are all over Gaza, just like everyone else, trying to take shelter, trying to find shelter, trying to find a vehicle, a car to take them across the strip. What is happening is an entire population being collectively punished for the military actions of a group.
And given your opposition to people in the north leaving northern Gaza on these evacuation orders, which you said are actually a forcible transfer, what do you advise civilians in Gaza who are in the north, who are maybe fearing Israeli troops having an offensive coming in to where they are? What do you advise them to do?
We're not opposed. Let's be clear. We're not opposed to people making those decisions because people want to seek safety, and that's their ultimate right. We don't interfere in that decision making. What we are saying is that you can't pressure people to leave under the pretext of hitting a military group where you know that half of the population is going to be affected and in danger of getting killed, maimed, hospitals bombed. I mean, even hospitals have been asked to evacuate. How is that going to work? Logistically, it's not possible. You've given people an ultimatum of 24 hours. And at the same time, there has been, I think we have seen portraying of South Gaza as safe. And that is not true. Southern Gaza is not safer or much safer than northern Gaza. There are areas that are being targeted and hit in southern Gaza. And to be honest, we need the international community to step in here and pressure Israel to stop this. This is collective punishment. Again, this is punishing an entire population in the north, in the south, in the middle, everywhere. You've closed the borders, you've cut the water, you've cut the electricity, and honestly, people don't know if they are going from one dangerous zone to another, if they are going to survive this.
And given that no one is getting out of Gaza, which has, as you mentioned, been under a full blockade, are there enough resources there to support people? And especially considering if large numbers of people move to the center and the south, what's your situation? What's your sense of the situation for civilians there on the ground?
It's very dire. It's very dire. Everything is running out. As we speak, there are hospitals having to shut down their devices. The shelters, you've seen the pictures, complete darkness at night, fuel is running out, and we're hearing that food is going to only be enough for a few days. This is a catastrophe. There is a few countries that have already pledged support to Gaza. There is aid waiting across the border in Egypt. Let that in. Open the humanitarian corridors that we have been calling for. Call for a humanitarian pause, at least, until you sort your disagreement, and let these people breathe. Let these people have some relief. Let them have a box, a meal, and just a bottle of water. This is what is happening. Again, is to put these political calculations in a civilian context where everyone has to suffer because of what is happening on the military and political side, and that shouldn't happen.
It's an incredibly dire and worrying situation. Ahmed Bayram, thank you so much for giving us your thoughts on it. That's the media advisor for the Norwegian Refugee Council in the Middle East, Ahmed Bayram.